In Streetball, I asked you to send me some questions so we can go answer them in the next episode of ISIAY.
Leave your questions on the comments below, and I'll answer some of them on the next episode of ISIAY.
Alright everyone, welcome back to ISIAY. Welcome back to ISIAY number 3. You know, I actually can't believe this series is continuing, but yeah, you guys have been asking some pretty good questions, so let's go ahead and keep answering those said questions. Alright, so let's not wait any longer, and let's go ahead and get into the first question. So, the first question that we have here is from the Cupid, who says, my only question is to make an updated tier list with all the characters. And in all honesty, I am going to make another tier list in the future, except I've already done a tier list of all the characters, and a lot has changed, so I will change some of those rankings. But the tier list that I'll be making at some point again is actually going to be a try-hard tier list. You know, how will guys from legend and master level see other characters when it comes to actually the tier list? You know, how would the top tier people, top tier players, how would they rank Fire King? You know, how would they rank Marcus? How would they rank Alto? How would they rank Hoy? You know, I'm gonna be making a try-hard tier list in the future to see just or to show you guys how they would normally rank those players that I've been talking about. But yeah, that is the tier list that I'm planning on making in the future. As for a normal tier list, I want to wait a little longer so that we actually have a better idea of the correct ranking. Again, a lot changes every update, but one thing's for sure, Toss Dunk is still overpowered. But yeah, thank you very much for that, the Cupid. And the answer is, I will make one in the future. In the close future, I will make a try-hard tier list. But as for a normal tier list, it's going to take a while for me to actually make another one. So yeah, again, thank you for that, the Cupid. So next up, our next question is from L-0, who asks, what buffs would you like the devs to give Bin, seeing that he's the worst SF in the game? Buff his mid-range or just focus on his dunking? Maybe rework his skills entirely like me. I personally want the devs to give him a dunk pass type skill in the Euro step that Lucy has. I actually disagree with most of this, but I like your idea of just reworking Bin entirely. I actually don't want that to happen. Since Bin is purely a dunker, I don't want him to suddenly not be a dunker and suddenly he's gonna be good at mid-range. No. I want him to stay as a dunker. The only thing I want them to change for Bin is to make it so that his dunk animations, his unique dunk animations, that means gliding dunk, sure, Havelock has it, but that would be fine. Even if Havelock gets buffed by this, that's fine. But I want his unique dunking animations like gliding dunk, between the legs, and walk in the air to have incredibly, and I mean incredibly, sensitive timing. That's the only thing I'm gonna change about Bin, honestly. So, for example, let's talk about gliding dunk, right? Or even walk in the air as well. Those two, just jump immediately, you're gonna be able to block it very easily. And between the legs, just jump very late, and you're going to be able to block that very easily as well. And it's not really a challenge, which is just not good. That is not good for Bin. So what I want the game to actually do to Bin is not rework him at all. Instead, Just make it so that his dunk animations are really, really sensitive. That means for between the legs, you only have a certain amount of time to actually block Bin. If not, he is going through you, or he's just gonna straight up dunk on you, you know? I want him to have a sensitive timing for you to actually need to block him in the middle of his animation, sort of late, but at a specific time. I want it to be hard to block him. And for, let's say, gliding dunk, you have to be very, very, very early at actually blocking. And let's say walk in the air, you have to be pretty late or at just the middle of his animation. Again, very sensitive timing for you to actually block those. That's it. That's all I'm going to change for Bin. That's the only buff I want to the game to give them. It's to make his dunks actually hard to stop. Because if that is the case, I'm telling you, Bin could actually be very, very good. He doesn't need a smart dunk. He doesn't need a dunking pass. He doesn't need a fancy dunk like Euro step dunk. No. What Bin needs is for his dunks to actually be hard to stop. That's it, man. You just gotta make it so that it's way harder to actually time Bin's dunks. And I'm telling you, it'll be actually very usable. So yeah, thank you for that, L-0. Let's move on to your next question. And this next question is, this is another question. It's the same with the Bin one. How would you buff Victor, the second worst center in the game? Maybe he's the worst. Either him or Howie. I don't know. Actually, I'd say he's the third worst. Worst one is Howie. Second one would be Big Mike. Yes, I know Big Mike is an amazing dunk blocker. One of the best, but his flick, his rebound, his movement, everything is so slow about Mike. And Howie too. That's why those two are so low, man. They're just not, they can't compete with other centers, in all honesty. But yeah, I'd say Victor was third worst. And honestly, with Victor, I'd say the only way to really buff him is for the devs to actually implement the change that I've been talking about for so long now, which is remove the ability to flick after you've been boxed out, and actually make it so that when you box out someone, they don't just bounce without the anti-box out ability. I don't want them bouncing out of that box out. I want box out to actually matter. And if that matters, I'm telling you, Victor himself is not going to need any buffs. Because all you're going to need from Victor then is to actually box out your enemy in time. And he'd be really good still. Victor does not need any buffs. Instead, what Victor needs is for that change to be implemented. The one that I always keep talking about. Don't make it so that flick bypasses after you've been boxed out. Don't make it so that flick, you can just use flick all willy-nilly. Don't make it so that everybody bounces out of the box out animation after a few seconds. No. Only Rocket and Amy should be able to do that because they're the only ones with anti-box out. And only Big Joanne should be able to flick or rebound through being boxed out because she has avoiding the box out. So yeah, I just want them to implement that change, that flick change. And once it's implemented, Victor, I'm telling you, will not need any buffs. Victor himself alone, very good character. He has a really good skill set. The only thing holding him back is flick because, I mean, let's be honest. Everybody who's not named Vanessa or Robbie are gonna get bullied on the rebound. Maybe Big Joanne and Emily too. Sometimes Elise, but yeah. Anyone who's not named Vanessa or Robbie, they're gonna get bullied on rebound. And if they implement the no flick change that I'm talking about, or the no bounce box out that I'm talking about, if they implement those two, Victor's not gonna need anything. Victor is already good. He's just being pushed out of being used because of the stupid rebounding that this game has in the moment. So yeah, thank you for that question, L dash. And let's move on to the other questions. So, next up, we have here Ike Hattison again. His isn't really a question, but I'm guessing he is trying to ask this one. So he says, precision expert for PG shooter like Jackie, Nana, etc. Because of PG nature, everyone will be mad at you if you shoot contested tree. Yes. I mean, I'm not one to actually get mad that much. If I get mad, it's because of unfair RNG. That's really what sets me off. That actually upsets me. That really makes me mad. If it's just unfair losses, even it's for us, if we win unfairly because we make a, stupid contested 3-pointer, yes, I'm actually mad for the sake of our opponents. It's just not fair, but yeah. That's what really sets me off. You shouldn't really be shooting contested trees with point guards anyways. So, yes, you can use Precision Expert for a chance to ignore those contested shots. But in all honesty, you really shouldn't be shooting that much anyway. Unless you're teamed up with a Silver Wolf or a Randy. Honestly, the only character I think that should be shooting a lot of those are Mo-chan, maybe May, but definitely Justin. Justin is the one that I think should only really be the one shooting that much. And it's going to be mid-range, so you can use Precision Expert if you want. I'm not going to recommend it. I don't think it's a good idea. But if you really like shooting and you find yourself being contested in those shots, if you're talking about mid-range, don't go for Precision Expert, just go for Interference Expert, so that you can actually shoot better contested 100% of the time. But if you're going for those trees, and again, I guess you are getting contested, if you really like shooting, sure, go and use Precision Expert. I'm not going to recommend it, but if you really want to do it, go ahead. So thank you for that, Ikatassin. And let's go ahead and get into the next question. So the next question that we have here is from K-Drama12345C. Alright, we got K-Drama over here. So K-Drama asks, who can I buy among Yui, Ayumi, and White for defense? Okay, so definitely not Ayumi. You do not want to get Ayumi. Instead, you're actually going to want to get either White or Yui. You don't want to get Yui. You're either going to want to get White or Ayumi. You're going to want to get White if you want to be a pure point guard, or Ayumi if you want to be a slight point guard who can score here and there if it's really needed. She can be a great backup scorer if she gets wide open, or if she gets a good flash shot in. She can be really good. Both their stealing rates are, in all honesty, their interception rate, it's still not as good as Neko, as I've actually seen, which is just stupid, in all honesty, right? You give both of them a skill that boosts interception rates, but I swear, I've been getting intercepts for Neko about 2 or 3 per game at some point. I got that. And then White or Ayumi, I didn't get a single intercept for 8 games in a row. Not a single one. So it's just unfair in all honesty. But if you are going to choose between White and Ayumi, if you want to play pure point guard, then choose White. If you want to still play like a point guard but have the ability to actually score if really needed, then go for Ayumi. Both are pretty effective. Just don't go for Yui. Yui is not a defensive character. She passes and dives for balls, and actually just, that's it. That is her job. So either go for white or Yui, with whatever your preference is when you play. So thank you very much for that, K-drama. And let's go ahead and get into the next question. So the next question that we have here is from Lee Jun. So he asks, idol for SG, Marcus or David? For SG, Marcus or David? My current account is now SG Marcus. I was planning to do something different with David and I prefer David's skill. Thank you. It actually depends on what you want to use. So if you want to use a character that's easier to actually master and be effective with, but in the long run it's easier to stop, but still very much easier to master, then go with David. But if you want a character that you need to master, you need to be skilled with, and would be more effective in the long run, but it's harder to master, then you should go ahead and use Marcus. Both have their ups and downs, but in the long run, Marcus is actually harder to stop than David. But David is much easier to be good with, especially with his insane mid-range contested shots. It's way easier to master David and be effective with him if you're not used to actually scoring. In the long run, Marcus is better, but it does take more skill to actually get used to what he's doing. So yeah, either Marcus for the long run and for the long run effectiveness once you're good with him, or David for the very quick way to actually, be effective, but it's harder to score with when you're facing off against good players. So yeah, thank you very much for that, Lee Jun. And let's go ahead and get into the next question that we have. So the next question that we have is from another fellow SBA content creator, Tashin Dream, who asks, opinion on the insane 3-point builds consistently making contested trees. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I hate it. I despise it, okay? I even said it earlier, right? That's the only thing that really ticks me off. It's what really upsets me. It's when you play very good defense, you make sure everything is contested on the 3-point line as well, right? On the 3-point line, you make sure everything is contested, you're doing it greatly, and you're finally winning by 2, and then suddenly they just make a contested tree. Bam, even though you jumped, or even though you contested it, they shoot a contested, it's going in. Nothing makes me madder than that. That's what really ticks me off. I hate it. I hate that they can just consistently make contested trees now. Here's the thing, right? So, David can actually make a contested tree in the first 20 seconds of the match if he shoots a contested tree, literally 100% of the time. That's what I've noticed. Whenever I fight a David, they're gonna shoot a contested tree every single time within 20 seconds of the match, and that is just going in. And then it's going to reset after a minute and 30 or something, and he's gonna have another BS shot ready, locked and loaded, and it's going in. So 2 BS shots are basically guaranteed for David per game. Fire King and the rest of the other characters have about, I'd say, 1. In general, they have 1 BS shot locked and loaded. But if they do keep shooting, they're gonna get 2 for sure. And as annoying as it sounds, it's not even rare that some actually get 3. Yeah, 3 contesteds in a game. That's not a joke. It's unfair, but it's true. Some get 3 contested shots in a single game because of how stupid the contesting here in the game is. It's like they have to guarantee at least 1 going in, even if contested, right? Even if it's a contested 3, which is just so dumb. They gotta buff it, man. That's what I say. They gotta buff it when you actually contest those 3s. They just gotta buff it and make it so that you barely make any of those if it's a 3-pointer. 2-pointers are fine, right? It's already hard that they keep making contested 2s, but that's the job of most SFs anyway, right? An SG's job isn't to shoot contested 3s. It's to shoot wide open 3s. It's not contested 3s, so why are they making so much? My opinion there is that it sucks. It's just terrible. It's not good. It's not a good thing. Their strategy is basically, yeah, let's keep chucking it because it's gonna work anyway, right? And it does. It works, which is not good. Why would you reward that? That's not skills. That is just straight up not skills right there. That's just relying on your stupid system of making it that, oh yeah, we guarantee 3 BS shots if you're gonna keep shooting contestants. You're just gonna keep going in for sure. No, that's not good. My opinion is they have to actually weaken it more. They just have to buff contested way more when it's on 3-pointers. It's just not fair. It just is not fair at all. So yeah, that's what I say about those consistent contested 3-pointers. I think it's stupid. It's not fun to fight against, and it's unfair in all honesty. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. In fact, I hate it. I hate it. I just hate it, and I can't stand it. It's the one thing that really just it grinds my gears, you know? It's just not good. I hate contested 3s going in, and contested 3s basically being a, what do you call this? Basically being 100%, you know? It's 100% sure that you're going to make 1 contested 3 per game. If you're a shooting guard or a small forward, you're basically guaranteed to make 1. You are guaranteed to make 1 contested 3 per game. It's not good. I hate it. So thank you for that, Teshin Dream. Sorry for my rant there, guys. I just really hate it. I really don't like when contested 3s go in. It's unfair. You play good defense, and the game just still rewards those that just chuck shots. It's just not fair, man. It's just not fair. So, anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get into the next question that we have. So the next question that we have is from X Darius, who asks, what's the best point guard character right now? Now, if you've asked me this about 2 months ago, no question, my favorite point guard and the best point guard, I think, would have been Neko. I think Neko still is the second best point guard right now, still is my favorite. Incredible point guard, very fun, and very fair. But anybody who's played even in low tier, probably, those who know how to use Becky, just she dominates all point guards. If you play against a Becky, your chance of getting FLRs is significantly reduced with how overpowered her diving is, and her defense is amazing as well. Becky is undoubtedly the best point guard in the game right now. It is not Nana, in my opinion. It is not Neko anymore, in my opinion. It's just Becky. Becky's diving and Becky's defense is just so good. It shuts down everybody so well. And even on offense, because she can run so well, it works too. So yeah, the best point guard right now, in my opinion, is Becky. Of course, she's hidden behind a paywall, but you know, these are just facts. Becky is 100% the best point guard in the game right now. It was formerly Neko for me. For a lot of people, it was formerly Nana, but anyone who doesn't say Becky, they're in denial. They're just in denial. It's Becky. Becky is 100% the best point guard in the game right now, and there's a reason why she actually keeps getting banned in Diamond matches too. It's because she's really good. Becky is really good. So thank you for that question, X Darius. And let's get into the next one. So the next question that we have here is from 29 Razans again, who says, top 5 things you would do to improve SBA if you were a developer. It's a lot of things that I'd change. Number 1, for sure, the change that I 100% would immediately just put out there, I 100% just quickly update the game and just change that toss dunk needs to be changed. It needs to be reworked. It's way too overpowered. You can't stop it if you're a solo big. You just can't stop toss dunk if you're a solo big. And Edward himself, you can't stop Edward because of the power that Ace update gives Edward to power forwards. The Ace update gives so much power, and then toss dunk itself makes it so that the chance of you blocking the toss dunk gets even harder. It's almost impossible to block Edward unless you're full power, and even then you're still gonna get dunked on. Even a 200 powered Daisuke kept getting dunked on by an Edward. That's just not fair. So we have, or I will personally, weaken Edward a little bit, reduce his power a little bit, and reduce his jump a little bit as well, and maybe just increase his speed to actually help him on defense a bit. And toss dunk in general, I'll make it so that it has a better or an easier blocking range, so you can block it from an easier range, and so that its effects won't actually make it so it's harder to block. Its effect will just be it's going to go in better, you know. I'm just going to increase the accuracy of the dunk and not make it harder to block. That's it. That's all I'm going to do to toss dunk. So that's the one change that I'll immediately actually put into place. It's just unfair. It is straight up unfair how overpowered toss dunk is. The other change I'm going to do is I'm going to change it so that Robbie doesn't have such an oppressive screening range. It's just unfair. It's unfair how big his screening range is. And lastly, again, these are just the ones that I'll immediately change. I'll give the players a choice to toggle or toggle off if they want to see or not want to see clothes that are being worn by others, so that it's actually easier to block dunks without you having to suffer from those gosh darn golden wings which Robbie is using to obstruct your view, so that their Lightning or their Edward or their Zachary can just dunk all willy-nilly without you blocking it because you can't see properly. Those 3 are going to be the ones that I quickly just implement, because it's unfair how the devs are just ignoring it at this point. I'm pretty sure they're just ignoring it because they know it's their moneymaker, you know. They need Edward to stay powerful. They need Robbie to stay powerful so that people will spend more money so that they can actually get those 3. Those are the ones that I'm immediately change. And after I change those immediately, I'll just do a lot of other things. Slowly implement them, The change in rebounding. Flick won't bypass box outs anymore. Or rebounding. You're not gonna bounce out of a box out anymore unless you're Rocket or Amy. So, Big Joe Man would actually be incredible. He's the only one who can still rebound or flick while being boxed out. I think that's fair. I'll be changing a lot of things just to make it way more balanced. Dunking itself. Everybody's gonna have Nikolai's dunking animation, which makes it way easier to actually block them. Why is Nikolai so easy to block when others are not? It's just not fair. If I was a dev, if I had freedom, it's just balancing. That's mostly what I'm gonna change in the game. It's balancing. It's unfair how powerful dunking is, and it's unfair how powerful contested trees are. It's unfair how powerful mid-range is even when you're faking. They can still make it. A lot of things have to change. If I was a dev, all I'm going to focus on is balancing. It's the one thing that I really, really want to change from SBA. It's just balancing. If I was a dev, that's what I'm going to do. Balancing. 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 That's all I'm going to be working on if I was a dev. So, thank you very much to Anonymous Resons for that question. I do love this game, I do. And if I was a dev, I would balance it. Seriously. Things are getting out of control, man. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get to the final question that we have, which is from Murel Lolita, who asks, when I upgrade Daisuke to rank SSS, will it give me more blocks than Tree? Only in using him as assist in my player or not? Thanks. So, no, Daisuke will not give you more than 6 blocks. Even if you SSS him, you're gonna have to ace him for him to actually give you that +9. Just like how S doesn't actually give you any more assist points, SSS doesn't really give you more assist points either. You're gonna have to hit SS, or you're gonna have to hit Ace for you to actually be able to get that +9. That +3 that you're talking about. You're gonna have to hit Ace. SSS will not give you any extra assist. It's just going to keep being +6, +6, and +3, I think. But yeah, it's just going to be +6, +6. It's only going to be +9, +9 once you hit Ace. SSS will not change that. So thank you very much for that question, Muro Lolita. So yeah, I suppose that's it for this video, for this episode of ISIAY. We had a lot of great questions, a lot of questions that really riled me up, because it just reminds me of how unbalanced this game is, man. Seriously, you gotta work on balancing quickly. Let's hope that their post about making sure that dunking is balanced, and let's hope that Rika actually gets nerfed now properly. Let's hope that overpowered strats don't work anymore. And let's hope that SBA just keeps on being fun. Or even better, be more fun than it is now. But more importantly, let's hope that they buff Howie. Come on now, guys, please, just buff Howie. Just buff Howie a little bit, man. Come on, man. You just gotta buff Howie, please. It's not that hard. Just get rid of this enhanced dunk. It doesn't go well with Thunder Dunk. You need to be close to activate Thunder, but Enhanced Dunk just makes it so that you can dunk further? It doesn't make sense. Why give him grabbing block when he has the worst blocking range in the entire game? Literally the worst for a big. Why would you give him a grabbing block? That doesn't synergize with him as well. And for gosh sake, can you just please make Dream Shake good by making it all layups and not just a shot and then the last fake being a layup? Just make it all layups so that it can actually be more useful. Seriously, please, just buff Howie. Just buff Howie, please. Alright guys. Thank you again for watching this episode of CI. Go ahead and, leave some more questions down in the comments below. They're very appreciated, and they're the ones that, keep this series going. So, again, if you have any more questions that you want to be answered, whether it be about the game or me, just leave it in the comments below. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it's been helpful. I hope that it entertained you somehow. And I'll catch you on the next one.